We have to focus on the Western Conference right now, where it was the Los Angeles Lakers without AD, without some other players in health and safety protocols, going up against a Kings squad that they should beat, and they did beat. They're now above 500, and it was on the back of LeBron James, the run that he has been on in the last 10 games.
LeBron has been balling this year. And shout out to Russell Westbrook, who played a game without having any turnovers.
Yep.
THT was scoring the basketball, Dwight Howard, Malik Monk. It was a total team effort. And as you mentioned, the Lakers are over 500. And so even without AD and the turbulence that they've dealt with this season, the Western Conference didn't bury the Lakers. And like I tell you, watch those standings. If they're lower than 4, they ain't getting to the Western Conference Championship. If they're in the top 4, it gives them a legitimate chance to actually make sure that happens. So them now being above 500 really does matter.
I think one thing that we do is, you know I'm a LeBron James stan. I admit it. I'm a LeBron James stan ever since before. When he was in high school, I was a fan of his. But we're taking what he is doing for granted. In the last 9 games, he's scored over 30 points. In 8 of them, he had 26 in the one that he didn't go over 30. His rebounds, his assists, the percentages that he's shooting from 3 and from the field and from the free throw line, the way that when AD comes out, he's taken this team and brought them to wins almost single-handedly has been extremely impressive. Like, we always talk about how exciting it is to watch Ja Morant, and we celebrate the leap that he's taken, and some of the younger stars, we celebrate DeMar DeRozan. We take LeBron James for granted. Again, over 30 points. In 8 of the last 9 games, he averages more than Steph, but we don't act like he does.
And he's been a terrific leader and playing multiple positions. They're requiring him, in theory, to play a lot of minutes at the 5. But I want to make sure I acknowledge something that people are going to start saying, and LeBron is now saying, that you said 10 years ago, that LeBron James is conditioning himself to still be in the league if and when Bronny makes it to the league.
Yep.
That was something you've been saying for a really long time.
I said it like 8 years ago, honestly.
Now this looks more and more like the summit is closer to happening, because earlier in the year when the Lakers were struggling and people was getting picked up from the G League and overseas, I'm like, I'm out of shape, but I know LeBron lived with somebody that named Bronny that might can help the Lakers. And so I like that you put that out there, but I also like the fact that we're actually celebrating the Lakers beating the Kings. Now, just think about what we're doing now.
Oh, yeah, they should beat the Kings. This was close down the stretch, too. This was close down the stretch.
Right.
They didn't win by 25 with LeBron sitting on the bench. That's not how this one went down. And I'm glad you mentioned him playing other positions, because he jumped center, but he didn't even jump. He just ran back on defense. He was just like, I'm not even going to bother with this.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.